good to see you. Awesome, come to brave class in the heat. Hope you've been enjoying the sun at some point today, or you might go and get out in it after this. Good to see you all, hello. Welcome, welcome. Make sure you've got your resistance band if you have one, or stretching band. Lovely, and some water and a cushion if you want it to add in during class. Any of those things all ready to go. We'll get started very soon. Awesome, and just while we're waiting a moment longer, just a reminder to send me through any comments, any requests, any feedback, any questions that you might have after class. I'm really happy to respond in DMs, either to Ten's Instagram or to my own Instagram, Mellowjam. Either, I'll get back to you. Just really cool to have that feedback and that conversation at the moment. Normally if we were in studio, I'd obviously be talking to clients about how you're going, how your body's feeling, how you're responding to different exercises afterwards, and since we can't do that at the moment, do feel free to reach out. Great, cool, looks like we're just about ready to go. So my name's Melissa, I'm from Ten Health and Fitness. Welcome, it is really good to see you all tonight. We are going to be doing our mat Pilates class. Okay, and I think we're ready to get into it. So just take your band, pop it near your mat. Lovely, and then we will stand with our feet directly underneath our hips, standing up nice and tall this evening, getting ready to go. Lovely, so to begin with, I want you to start to draw those abdominal muscles in, starting to get ready to turn our core on nicely. Good, so think of softly pulling the belly button in and imagine the corset wrapping all the way around your waist. This is really important that we remember the core does wrap all the way around. It's made up of lots of different muscles and we want them all connecting and helping to turn on. Okay, we also want to find that lift with our pelvic floor, about a 30% lift. So just feeling that go softly up and down inside you now. Let's gently engage, lift the pelvic floor up, and then softly release and let it go. Try that again, gently engage, lift the pelvic floor up like it's an elevator going up inside you, up to the 3rd floor, and then gently lowers back down. Good, try that one more time, really focus on your body. Lift that pelvic floor, make sure you're not squeezing the bottom to make it happen. Good, just the actual pelvic floor muscles, and then gently let them go. Good, remember how that felt with the core starting to draw in, the pelvic floor starting to lift. Then we'll start to ease those shoulders back. Lovely, just easing out any of the tension that may have built up there today. Nicely done, we'll leave those shoulders slid back and down. We'll softly start to lift and lower the chin just a couple of times. Now this is a really good opportunity not only to ease out your neck, okay, and get the neck joint moving, but to also think of staying lifted in that pelvic floor, to staying wrapped in that corset. Good, so always thinking how to support and stabilize our bodies. Bring your head back into the center, have it sitting nice and flat, and then we rock side to side. And let's really imagine there's a weight on top of each of your shoulders as you do this. So we don't want the shoulders to be elevating. Keep them slid gently, softly, back and down as we just release into the neck. Lovely, bring your head back into the center. From here we're going to start to slice the air. So we lift the arms and we open the chest. Now I don't want you to flare the rib cage as you do this. Keep that belly drawn in like we were just talking about, but instead open across the chest, expand with your arms. Lovely. Then we bring the arms back down and we slice the air the other way. Let's keep going. Inhale, open and reach up. Exhale, slice the air the other way. We can add a little bit of a plie, a little bit of a bend of the knees as well now. Good, softly reaching up, opening out, and slicing back down. Let's go 2 more. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. Lovely, one more, stay at the top this time. Inhale up. Good, all right, bring your chin back into a neutral position, reach those hands up, but slide the shoulders down, and then we're going to start to rise up on the balls of our toes, balls of the feet, good, and lower back down. Now, this will probably be a challenge as you first get going, but see if you can do so with the least amount of wobbles possible. So I really want you to try and stabilize through the ankles. Think of drawing them straight up, not letting them roll out. Good, ankle stability is a really important thing to try and work on and maintain. Keep that corset feeling wrapping around your waist and keep lifting with your pelvic floor. Good, so you should feel the calf muscles starting to engage a little bit more as we do this as well. And you should feel that you need to keep the core on as you do this. Good, well done everyone. Slide those shoulders down. Okay, let's not bring the tension up into our necks. Don't need to do that. Hold it in through the abdominals instead. And then see if we can take a little hold at the top. Here we go, reach through those fingertips. Hold, 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 lift higher, higher, higher. And float yourselves back down. Well done. We're going into our pivot swings now. So you're going to step to the side. And as we do a little bend from side to side, I want you to just make a soft figure eight with your arms. Good. Now follow your hands with your eyes when you're ready, so that your body starts to gently rotate and swing here as well. Then we can start to make the figure eights, the swings, a little bit bigger. Good, flowing side to side here. And this feels really nice for my back, so I hope it does for yours too. Just moving us through some rotation. Lovely, traveling through planes of motion here. Excellent, easing out that tightness above our hips. Very good, one more. And then float that back in, lovely. Just gently shake out those legs. Awesome, then we're going to stand to one end of your mat and we're getting ready to do some spinal roll down. So make sure the feet are directly underneath your hips again. Start by standing with a nice tall spine. Really imagine growing out the top of your head. And then we're ready to bring our chin to our chest. And gradually, very, very slowly, okay, it is not a race. Try to articulate, to peel, to roll through every little part of your spine. Really feel like you're creating space along the vertebrae. Lovely. Let's hang out here at the bottom for a moment. Try to keep the weight over the front of your feet rather than the back. Think of lifting those hips up to the ceiling and feeling the length along the back of your legs. Very good. Then we bend our knees, we softly tuck the tailbone, pull the tummy in, and gradually restack the spine. Roll it back up to the top. Make sure you open the chest and stand tall. Let's do that one more time. So chin to chest, heavy hands, heavy head. Take your time. Truly try to articulate through every little part. Good. Feel the spine opening up. And then eventually your hands will find the floor. You can bend your knees if you need to help you walk out to that a little bit more. And we're finding our all fours, our quadruped position. So we want the hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. And I want you to turn on those core muscles that we were talking about before. Imagine that corset wrapping all the way around you. Scoop the belly in. Focus on your rib to hip connection. Lift slightly in your pelvic floor and then tuck your toes underneath you. Now, without letting anything else shift, let's push through our hands, engage that core, pick up our knees, hover and hold. Lovely. Good. Now, we really want to try and expand across the shoulders as we do this. Don't let them come up towards your ears. Focus, breathe and hold. Okay, everyone will be finding this different. You might be feeling it in different places. It should not be hurting your lower back. Okay, if it is, come down, reset, try again. Draw those abdominals in a little bit more. You should not be straining your neck. If you are, try squeezing under your shoulders, lengthen through the top of the head a little bit more. Otherwise, focus here. Keep running through a checklist of your entire body. Is everything activating in the right place? Are you holding and stabilizing into the right areas? Let's breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. For 5, you can do it. Stay there with me. Well done. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Untuck the toes, reach your body back into a nice shell stretch from here. Lovely. Just soften that neck. Beautiful. Then we're going to come up onto all fours one more time. From here, I want you to thread the needle. So open your front hand up towards me and then keep going all the way up towards the ceiling. Really reach out through those fingertips. Lovely. From here, we come all the way underneath ourselves, threading the needle. Lower your body down to the ground. You can bend the other arm to feel a nice stretch behind the back of your upper back, or the back of your shoulder, around the thoracic area. And we keep that going there. So a nice big inhale, breath on the way up. Exhale. As you twist all the way underneath yourself. Lovely. Now keep this going there. I'm just going to go facing the front, and if anyone needs to see me in this position. And I really want you to try and spiral and rotate all along your spine. So something too important to remember that we talk about quite a lot at 10 is that our bodies are very good at cheating. They will find comfortable ways of moving that aren't necessarily the right ways. Okay? Or, even if it's not wrong, it could mean that other areas of your body are missing out on the benefits of that movement. Okay? So when we do something like a thread the needle, something with rotation, try and imagine, try and feel that you're fully rotating into every part of your spine as much as possible, just the parts that do allow that. Lovely, so that we're not missing anything out, we're not just working where it's comfortable for us. Excellent, you can leave that there. Very good, from here we're going to go into a bit of a hip flexor release, okay? So let's step your front foot forward, please. For me, that's my right foot. And then we're going to reach the body forward. Okay, now I'm trying not to just collapse into my hips, but to instead lift up and out of them. Let's give a little squeeze to the back of our glutes, okay? That'll help to release off the front of those hip flexors more. And then we can inhale, exhale, swoop the hand up to the ceiling. Lovely. From there, if you'd like a little bit more, reach overhead. So we feel this down the side body as well as into the front of those hip flexors. Good, our hip flexors get pretty tight and niggly, especially when we sit down quite a lot, okay? So most of us are probably a lot more inactive at the moment. Let's take care of those hip flexors. Excellent, bring that back in, and then we're going back into the beginning of that combination. So, hands go right underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Find that core again, draw the belly in, rib to hip connection. Lengthen through the spine, nice neutral position. Slightly soften the elbows, slide the shoulders away from your ears. Tuck your toes, maintain all of that, and in 3, 2, 1, up we go. Hover and hold. Lovely. Now this time, if you found the first round relatively easy, you feel like you were doing it correctly, then I'd like you to slowly lower the knees so they almost but not quite touch the mat, and then scoop the abdominals to help lift them back up. Lower down, scoop. Down, exhale, lift. Good, so you'll keep going here. Nice. Now, no point are those shoulders allowed to creep up anywhere near your ears. Your ears. I think there's a combination of ears and knees. So let's squeeze under those armpits to draw the shoulders down, all right? Get those serratus muscles kicking in and helping you to stabilize as well. Beautiful. Keep going there. You're nearly done, everyone. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Excellent. Lower that down. Sit your bottom back into your shell stretch. Relax the neck. Relax the shoulders for a moment. I'm just going to briefly check your comments. Hello to everyone who's been saying hello. Excellent to see you. Hello everyone who's just there. Excellent to know you're there. Lovely. All right. Roll yourselves up, but stay on your knees. By the way, if anyone is getting a bit uncomfortable doing this knee work at the start, feel free to just double up your mat if you need a little bit of extra padding and you haven't done that yet. Alright, so the other side of our thread the needle, back onto all fours. Make sure you definitely do go the other way this time. And then we'll take a nice big swoop. Really inhale, open up. Exhale, twist. Reach all the way underneath. Good, stretching behind the shoulder, getting into those postural muscles. Keep this going. Inhale, rotate, open up. Remember what I was talking about before by trying to move and mobilize into our entire bodies. Try not to allow yourself to just move through the same kind of pathways that you're comfortable with. We want to be challenging the body. We want to be creating sustainable movement that keeps us moving over a much longer period of time. Well done. Just a few more to go here. Now I'm still lifting in with my abdominals. My core is still working and supporting, especially as we move through that rotation. We can do a nice big inhale breath on the way up. Exhale. and you twist and lower back down. Very good, everyone. One more there, gently increasing your range as you go. Beautiful, and then finish that off. Lovely, hip flexor stretch. Make sure you go forward with your other leg this time. Okay, this time it's my left one. So I've got my knee directly above my ankle. I've lifted my upper body up. As I reach the hips forward, I'm feeling and imagining that lengthen through the front of my hip. I'm trying not to just drop into the hips. Lengthen through the movement, okay? A little bit of a squeeze into those back glutes. That'll help encourage the hip flexors to release a little bit more. Very good. Hold this here for a moment. When you're ready, inhale. Exhale. Swoop the hand up. Touch the ceiling, or if you're doing it outside, touch the sky. And reach all the way over. Lovely. This feels so good. Gently let that go. And bring your legs back together. Well done. All right, grab a sip of water if you need it. Otherwise, let's lie ourselves down, making our way down onto our backs for a little bit more core and abdominal work now. So, feet are flat on the floor. Let's just check in with the lower back. So we'll gently move through our pelvic tilts now. If you've been feeling a little bit niggly in this lumbo-pelvic area lately, pelvic tilts are such a simple but really effective way of trying to just ease yourself through that movement again. Lovely, to try and ease out that stiffness that builds up when we lose our movement. To allow you to assess if one side is tighter than the other. Remember, we're always aiming for a balanced body. Let's just help bring that mind-body connection back into our movement. So in Pilates, we're always wanting to do very focused, very mindful movement. That's how we learn about how our bodies work. Okay, and then we put ourselves in a really good position to become properly stronger, properly more mobile. Create, again, more sustainable movement. Awesome. All right, let's leave that pelvis in a neutral position now. Good. Try and hold that there. Imagine the little blueberry underneath your lower back. Okay, don't squash the blueberry unless you are struggling and then you need to press into the floor a little bit more. But also don't let that blueberry roll away. Okay, so neutral spine, belly in, ribs to hips, abs on. Let's exhale. Float one knee up into tabletop. Inhale, hold. Exhale. Think of those low, deep abdominals. Scoop them in. Take the other leg up. Inhale, hold. Breathe here smoothly for a moment. Try to keep the knees hovering directly above your hips. Pull in those low, deep abdominal muscles. Use your hands to feel around and check that you're activating properly. If you can't hold this long, that's completely fine. If you're still building up your core strength, you're still learning about it and finding it, it does take time sometimes. Okay, so if it is too much, no worries at all. Just lower one foot. Okay? Then you could try bringing it back up. Or you might need to lower both feet. Take a full break and then go back into it. If you are still there, don't worry, I haven't forgotten. Try to hold. Lovely. From here, we're going to reach the arms to the ceiling and start to create little circles. Now we're still holding on nice and firm through that core. As I circle, I'm not letting my shoulders curl or elevate. I'm keeping the shoulder blades into the mat. Lovely, little smooth flowing circles here. Excellent, tummy's drawn in nice and firm. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Lower the hands, lower the legs one at a time. Okay, just make any adjustments that you might need to. Otherwise, scoop in that belly again. Reach through the fingertips. Good. Let's go palms to the ceiling tonight. And then start to make our way into our curl-ups. Good. Or our 100. Okay, so before you curl up, every single time, before you even move an inch, I want you to scoop the abdominals and actually feel them contract and engage. Once you've felt them fire up, then you know that they'll be properly working and helping to roll you off the ground. Okay, there's no point in throwing our bodies all over the place and not actually using these movements to teach us, to retrain your bodies how you want them to move. All right, some of you have been messaging me about hip flexors taking over, so this is a really lovely time to properly check that those abs are doing what we want them to and you're not just gripping into all those other areas. All right, if you can work a little bit harder, I want you to scoop, curl up, hold. Then think about those abdominals, use them to go up and down, staying up, so you're moving forward and back 2 inches. Do that 3 times, and then roll back down again. Lovely. If you're struggling here, you need a little bit of support. No worries, just pop the hands behind the head to support the neck a little bit further. Either way, whether you've added in the pulses, with your hands behind your head, whatever you're doing, keep breathing. Exhale to curl up, inhale to roll back down. And keep focusing on that deep, low abdominal activation. For most people, it's much easier to activate the upper abdominals, so we tend to need to think a little bit lower and deeper down. Okay, let's try and hold the next one if we can. Everyone all together. Come down if you need to take a break and then just try again. Otherwise, let's roll the shoulder blades up off the mat. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, little way back. Exhale, scoop. Inhale, back. Good. Really scoop. Good. For 8, 7. Open that chest, everyone. Shoulders open. Lift the pelvic floor as well. Good. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Float yourselves back down. Lovely. Well done. All right, from here, we're going to go into a hip opener. So if you're still building your core strength, level 1, keep your feet together on the mat. If you're a little bit more intermediate, you're a bit more confident with that core stability, then float your legs up into tabletop. Whichever option you've chosen, make your way into that now. And then we're going to keep one leg completely still as you simply open the other out to the side. Now you'll feel that the opposite bottom might want to lift off. Don't let that happen. Press it down. Keep those hips balanced. And then come back into the center. Good. Inhale. Exhale, move. Inhale at your end range. Exhale, drawing through that waist. Use the obliques to help you as well here. Bring that leg back in. Good, keep going like that. Remember, a slightly more beginner option. Great option to take if you need to, okay, is to do it with the feet on the ground. If you've got the feet on the ground option, try to press through your opposite heel. That'll give your bottom, your glutes a little bit more squeeze, and that'll help to stabilize you as well, okay? Always a good thing to get those glutes joining in when we need them to. Nice, keep imagining, keep visualizing those abdominals, keep visualizing the obliques wrapping around our waist. Nice, keep lifting in that pelvic floor, everyone. Keep going there, have a look. Is your stable leg actually stable? Don't let it counterbalance you, hover around and move out. Keep it properly still. I imagine that lots have drifted out a little bit, so bring them back in. Good work. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, on 1, bring the legs back into the ceiling, lovely. If you're on the floor, see if you can take them off again. If you need to reset as many times as you need, that's completely fine. Do what works for you, but try to keep gradually progressing. All right, from here we're going straight into our frog press. So I want you to lengthen that spine, engage the core. Then just turn the knees and the toes out slightly, keeping your heels pressed together. Then, without losing your rib to hip connection, hold on to it if you need to. Straighten the legs away from you, keeping the heels pressed together. As you bend the knees back in, open them out. So it should look like you've got frog legs right now. This is our frog press exercise. Exhale, reach the feet away. Inhale, float them back in. Lovely. Now, I'm really strict about this. I don't want to see any lifting, arching, or losing control through that lower back. You will do yourself damage, okay? If you're finding this quite hard, keep the legs higher. Maybe don't fully straighten them quite yet. Do what you need to focus on the core staying on, the spine staying neutral as much as possible. Okay, just a couple more to go here. If you are up for the challenge, you're able to stabilize it. Keep those feet a little further away from you. All right, everyone, keep pressing those shoulder blades down into the ground as well. Good, so this should feel like it's really requiring you to turn the abdominals on lots here to hold you in place, not let those ribs run away. Let's hold our legs on the next one. Here we go, stay there, tummies in for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Bring that back in, take a lovely stretch, reach the hands and the feet away from one another after all of that. Beautiful. All right, we've got one more core exercise in this position today. I hope you're all doing okay, or more than okay would be good. Let's bring those legs up again. Let's press the shoulder blades into the ground. Let's draw the belly in, lift the pelvic floor, rib to hip connection. Right, legs off into tabletop, lengthen that spine. Now from here, we're going to softly start to do a few little toe taps. When you toe tap, you don't have to actually touch the floor. It's more about getting the hips hinging. So I want you to think of folding and hinging at the hip. Now often I tell you to keep the knee directly above the hip, but today we're allowed to bring the knee a little bit closer to us, okay? Keeping that form nice and firm and secure through the whole body, but swapping those legs. What we're doing is we're building up into our scissors exercise. So if that's feeling good for you, if that's feeling like you're working quite hard to stabilize, keep practicing that. If you can work a little bit harder, I want you to start to lengthen your legs a little bit more. So we're starting to straighten the legs. If that tummy is doming, pull it back in. If you can't do that, you must take a break, okay? We don't want to strain the abdominals. Keep them drawn in. Lovely long legs. All right, now if you are feeling particularly advanced today, you want to come up into our full scissor option. You're going to curl the body up off the mat, hug the leg towards you a little bit more, keep that tummy nice and strong, and then swap on your exhale breath. Pull the chest towards the leg, make sure the other one doesn't drop to the floor. You've still got control of that second leg. Here we go. Exhale, exhale. Good. Keep swapping there. Remember, we've got 3 different options tonight. Take the option that's best for you. Draw that belly in no matter what one you've got. Good. Keep those legs moving, hinging softly through the hips. Good. Keep breathing there. If you've got your head off the floor like mine, make sure you're lengthening in the back of your neck. Use the abs to hold you up. Don't strain that neck. Lie down if you need to. Otherwise, long legs. Let's go. Tummy drawn in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lower yourself slowly back down. Nicely done, everyone. Okay, let's open all of that up after that. We're going into our glute bridges now. So feet are relatively close to your bottom, making sure they're only hip width apart. Let's tuck the tailbone underneath us, squeeze our bottom, press our heels into the mat, and gradually roll up through every little part of your spine. Good. Now remember at the top, we want to make sure the ribs have stayed closed. The abs are still working, holding you in place. Your knees have not drifted apart. Keep them over the toes. Then bring the upper back down first to the top of the spine, peeling your way little by little, all the way down to the coccyx and sacrum. Excellent. Then we tuck again, press through the lumbar spine. Good. Travel all the way up nice and slowly. Feel the movement. Think about what's going on, everyone. There's no point in rushing through it. You're all doing something really good for yourselves right now by being here, by being in class. Well done for that. Let's keep making the most of every little part of it. All right, so those glutes should be firing up nicely now. If they're not, give them a bit more of a squeeze. Push into those heels a little bit more. Lovely. Keep articulating through that spine. If you can work a little bit harder, we can add in the arms. So when you're at the top of the glute bridge, hold, open through the front of the hips, stay nice and secure as we float the arms overhead without the hips tipping or twisting. Bring the arms all the way back down. Good. Then peel your way back through the spine. Let's go 2 more times. Nice. Now, I'm having to really think about my knees tonight. They're wanting to drift apart, okay? So I'm focusing on keeping the inner thighs, helping to draw the knees into the right position. Good. Keeping the glutes squeezing. Keeping the corset muscles wrapping around for support. Excellent. Well done. Okay, let's hold the next one if we can.
If holding is too much, please just keep the movement going instead. That's completely fine. Otherwise, squeeze your bottom, open the hips, hold. I want you to slightly relax the glutes of one side so that one hip drops. Then push through your opposite heel, squeeze the bottom again to lift that hip back up. Try the other side. So we gently let one hip, one glute or one bottom, however you want to think of it, drop down and then squeeze it to bring back up. Nice. This is really nice to feel the activation and the release working hand in hand. Getting a little bit of a twist through your waist as you do this, but it's very much a controlled, supported twist. If it's hurting your lower back, you need to roll down, take a break, reset, and then try again, alright? Activating into all the parts that I've been talking about. Otherwise, let's keep going here with good control, good flow. Squeeze to lift that hip back up. For 4. For 3, reach those hips to the ceiling. For 2. And for 1, excellent everyone. Curl your way back down little by little. And hug those knees to your chest. Gently rock side to side to release that off. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to make our way upright now. You can stay side on, just as I am, and we're going to do some rolling up, okay? Some rolling back, rather. So, sitting up nice and tall. Now, this is the one that you need to check that you've got a clear space behind you, because we'll be rolling back, so I don't want you to bump into anything. And if you know that you're really stiff through your back, it doesn't like to curl and move so much, then I'd rather you didn't do this one fully straight away, but instead practice yourself, just holding onto your legs, rolling, articulating, trying to mobilize the spine a bit more, okay? Remember, you're all at different levels, so it's quite normal that everyone might need to be working at a different pace or working on a different thing at the same time. Okay, so pick your option. If you're confident with your spinal mobility, we can lift those feet off, we can hug the legs right in towards our chest. Now, make sure your abdominals are working, turn them on to hold you there. Chin goes to your chest as you curl into a little ball. Tuck the tailbone and then roll nice and softly through every part of your spine, okay? So you should feel yourself traveling through every little part of it. And we're just going onto the back of the shoulders. We're not going all the way up onto the neck. Excellent. Keep tucked in. Tuck yourself into that little ball. Now, if you need to for balance, you can lower the feet slightly at the end and then reset. If you can, keep the feet hovered off to keep the abdominals working, balancing you at the end of each repetition as well. Well done. Good. Draw that belly in, curl and roll. Have fun. Just a couple more times. If you're not rolling, if you're practicing your articulation instead, good on you. Well done. Keep going with that. It is really, really important. Beautiful. One more time. Here we go. Take your time. Control it. And then leave that there. Lovely. Well done. All right. I'm going to take a hold of my band now. So grab yours as well if you've got one. And then we're going to kneel on top of it, ready for some shoulder retractions. Now, if you've had enough of kneeling on your knees, because I know we did do this a fair bit at the start of the class as well, feel free to fully stand on your band instead. If you don't have a band, just grab something to hold in your hands, a couple of water bottles if you've got them handy, anything similar that might be nearby, just to give you a little bit of weight, okay? We want a little bit of weight or a little bit of resistance. Good, now, keep looking at me. I'm going to turn around though, because this one works better if you can see my upper back. Okay, but I'm not ignoring you, don't worry. Okay, so we've got our band or our weights. We've wrapped it around accordingly if needed. Align the pelvis, okay? We don't want to be arching into that lower back. Lift the pelvic floor, engage the abdominals. Then you're just going to start to retract the shoulder blades. So you're gently sliding the shoulder blades together, getting a little bit of a squeeze between them, and then you release that back off. Try that again. Gently squeeze between the shoulder blades, retract them, sliding them together, and release that back off. Good. So I'm not thinking of swinging my hands. It's not about getting the hands really far back. It's about trying to isolate, trying to work into that upper back, okay? We're literally trying to draw the shoulders back into the right place because most of us have them slipping forward. Now, a couple of you said in my last class that the talk we did about the shoulder stability, trying to help us in our shoulder and our side planks, was really helpful. So I'm hoping that this is helpful too, okay? There's lots of ways that we can try and take care of our upper body, that we can try and take care of the shoulders, okay? That we can try and stabilize them. And the shoulder retractions are a really nice way of doing that. Okay, so just keep going there a couple more times, retracting and releasing. If you need more weight or tension, go ahead, but it actually works perfectly fine without anything as well. It's nice to isolate that movement. Please really watch that you're not elevating the shoulders at all as you do this, and that you're not pushing that rib cage forward, okay? It's not a dance. We want to keep the ribs drawn in and just simply retract the shoulder blades. Excellent. Okay, can you hold the next one for me? Slide those shoulder blades together. Good. Draw them in towards one another. Pull that tummy in, lift that pelvic floor, lengthen that spine. Breathe there, looking straight ahead for 3. I think I lost you there. You can relax. If you're still holding, relax, let that go. Lovely, well done. Just drop the band for a moment. Pop your hands in front of you, wherever you are. You can stay kneeling if that's comfortable enough. And then just gently push the hands forward. We'll do the opposite of what we just did. So we're just going to gently protract now. Good, bring your chin down to your chest. I'm just double checking that you're still all there. I think we're still okay. Are we all okay? Someone give me a wave or a thumbs up. Just want to check that my video is still working. We all good? Yes? Okay, good. Lovely, thanks guys, wasn't sure. Awesome, thank you. Okay, let that go and shake that out. Beautiful, all right, so we've done a little bit of shoulder work. We did our 4-point hovers at the start of class. We're going to finish before we have our stretch right at the end with a little bit more plank or leg pull prone work now. Okay, so I want you to one more time, now that everything's fired up, it's all working in the right ways, one more time, make your way back onto all fours. Lovely, lengthen that spine, lift in your belly. Excellent. Now, think about the shoulders. We're not fully retracting them like we were before. We're pressing with our hands, we're spreading them out. We're firing up all the little muscles, ligaments, tendons that support the shoulders and trying to keep them nice and steady there. Pull that tummy in. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, hold. Okay, now if that's enough for you, you can keep practicing that and stay there. Otherwise, we want to step one foot, then the other foot back, so you're in a nice strong plank position now. Now watch that you haven't rocked away from your hands as you do that. Try and keep the weight forward, all the way over the front of the hands. You'll find that makes you work quite a lot harder. Pull that tummy in, lift that pelvic floor. Excellent. Hold that there. From here, if you can work harder again without the hips twisted, exhale, lift one leg, inhale, pop it back down. Exhale, lift, inhale, back down. Let's squeeze into the bottom as you do that. Well done, good. Remember, watch that we're not rocking back. Watch that we're not twisting the hips. You can do this. Spread the shoulder blades out. If this is too much, you can lower the knees, okay? Press the hips forward and practice holding your plank position here instead. Okay, that'll still get you working hard. Otherwise, if you are up, let's go for 4. For 3, nice and steady everyone. Keep that weight forward. Pull that belly in. 2. 1. Hold. Just stay here. All together, you can do it. 8. 7. Breathe. 6. 5. Tummies in. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Slowly lower the knees and gently release that off. Lovely. Then we can roll our way out of that. Okay, so we're going to make our way into a couple of closing stretches now. Feel free to have your band handy if you would like to use it. Otherwise, carefully make your way back down onto your backs. Okay, I'm going to straighten my left leg and lift up my right knee. You're welcome to do the same, or if it makes sense for you to start with the other one first, that's completely fine too. I'm going to gently use my opposite hand to bend my right knee across the body to where you feel that you can, but at the same time, extend the other arm, pressing the shoulder gently down into the floor. Good. Now, if you can't get your shoulder, the opposite one to the bent knee, down into the ground, you've taken that leg a little bit too far. Okay, so just adjust as you need to. Otherwise, this should feel like a lovely spiral stretch along your backs, along your spines. You should feel nice and open across your chest, and you should feel a stretch into the side of the glutes and along the outside of the thigh. Okay, all areas that we all need to be releasing often. Well done. Then you can gently bring that leg back in. Nice, and give your knee a big hug. Hug that knee in towards your chest. From here, we're going to change the grip so it's underneath the leg, on top of the thigh instead. And we're going to try and straighten to lengthen that leg away. Now, if that's too much, you might want to take a hold of your band, hook it around your foot, and ease yourself into the stretch that way instead. All right, do whatever works for you, but make sure you're not straining, okay? We just want to ease, lengthen, and breathe into our stretch. Forcing your stretches will only make the body start to kind of freak out, basically. It will start to fight against it. We have something called a stretch reflex, okay? And when we're trying to release properly, we want the body to understand that we're doing a good thing. We want the nervous system to relax into the stretch and not fight against it. So breathe now, and then gently let that go. Fold that leg back in, lengthen it away. Let's go straight into the other side. So bend your other knee now, opposite hand. Gently go across the body as you reach the other arm away from you, pressing that shoulder down into the mat. See how far you can go without losing. Good, that stability with the shoulder. Finding that lovely twist through the body. And just breathing here for a moment. You're welcome to close your eyes if you'd like to. Take a moment. Just focus how that feels. Try and soften into it even more. Lovely. Bring that back in. Make sure you're lying nice and straight. Your hips are nice and level as we hug that left leg, or whichever leg you're doing, in towards you again. Now make the most of the hug, okay? The more I hug, the more I also actually feel my opposite hip open up and lengthen away. So that's really nice too. Then change the grip and start to lengthen that leg away from you. Again, if that's too much, no problem. Use your band, use a towel, or just use your hands to hold the leg a little bit further away. Okay, and ease into it as your body is ready for it. Remember, we all have a different range of mobility. We should all work on it and try and have the best range we possibly can. Okay, but we are all different and it does take practice. Lovely, keep breathing here. We're staying here a little bit longer. Again, you can close your eyes if you'd like to. Try not to pull directly on your knee, by the way. That's not very good for the joints, and you'll just make yourself bend the knee instead. Try to hold onto either the calf muscles or the hamstrings and then lengthen from there. 3, for 2, and 1. Good. Finally this evening, let's bend both knees. Good, and then we're going to take a nice butterfly stretch. So after we did all those frog presses earlier on, let's just take a butterfly stretch now. Gently letting gravity pull your legs apart, pull your knees down to the floor. Once again, try and soften into the stretch. If you're finding you're arching your back a lot, just bring the legs up a little bit, tuck the tailbone slightly to press the lower back into the mat, and then try to soften along the hips, soften along the inner thighs. And breathe there. This is also a really nice time to try and relax your pelvic floor. All right, as much as I talked about engaging it a lot tonight, okay, and we should be doing that every time we take part in Pilates or other exercise as well, okay, it's still really important, if not more so, especially if it's high impact work. Okay, so as much as what I'm saying to definitely engage, you also definitely need to be able to release the pelvic floor muscles. Just like any of our other muscles, they should be able to do both things, and they need to be able to do both things in order to be nice and healthy. So just while we're lying here a moment longer, see if you can relax those pelvic floor muscles. Teach your body to be able to do both things and to be happy to do both things. Nice, gently bring the legs back together now. You can help them if you need to. Good, and then we will slowly make our way up to standing. Always like to leave you standing rather than lying on the floor. Nice to bring our feet direct underneath our hips. We'll stand nice and tall. We're going to reach down through one hand, up and over. Let's take care of our side body as well. Reach out through those fingertips, soften the shoulders. Good, float that hand back down, other way. Reach down, out, up and over. Lengthen that out. Beautiful, reach down the other way. Stand nice and tall, everyone. Let's all breathe in. Out. And again, feel the ribcage expand as you breathe in. Out. And give yourselves a clap. Well done for everyone. Thank you so much for joining me once again. I look forward to seeing you again soon. My next class is 7:30 a.m. on Wednesday, right here on 10 Health and Fitness's page. Keep checking in with us. We've got lots of exciting things coming up. Reminder that we've got physio running online as well. So if you are having any little niggles anywhere that you think you need to be seen more than obviously just moving through a class, check in with us. We can get you hooked up with physio. We can get you hooked up with PT sessions, whatever you need. Otherwise, thanks for all those comments, everyone. Thank you mostly for joining in with me. Really nice to move with you all, not just by myself. You're very welcome. Lovely. See you later. Bye-bye.